Good morning. Oh my gosh. Oh, I love getting messages like that. Okay. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Or is today Wednesday? I don't even know. What is today? I think it's Thursday, actually. Maybe I should look. Let's see if we can get some people on. Hello. Hi, Mary Cruz. How are you? I haven't seen you in forever. Hi, David. All right. Is today Wednesday or Thursday, guys? Because I don't even know. I lost a whole day, I think. We'll see. I don't know. Hi, Robin. I always like it when people want to be in my video. It's really funny. Hi, Melissa. Hi, Lily. Is today Wednesday or Thursday? That's the question right now because I think I lost a whole day. It's Thursday. Yay, tomorrow's Friday. That's amazing. Okay, I am going to talk about really hard stuff right now. So if I get emotional, it's because it's close to my heart. I'm not affected every day by this anymore. But as a lot of you know, I lost my dad, and the adventure of losing my father at the way that we lost him and all of that stuff, there was a lot of trauma attached to that, and I'll just be really honest, because there was a lot of unresolved stuff. There's a lot of answers, anytime there's life, there's death. Anytime there's heartache, there's hope, right? And it's hard. If you know what it feels like to lose someone, put some heart emojis. Just pound the heart button real quick for me. Because I want to send all of us love, first of all. But second of all, I want everybody to see how much people can relate to having lost someone. Death. It's one of the most natural and most difficult things we'll ever walk through. And I think that's so ironic about life is how much something that is so normal can hurt us so deeply. To the point of it's so depth. It's so deep, right? And today's my dad's birthday. So that's it's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this on today. Because I loved my dad. And who doesn't love their dad, right? If you love your dad, put your favorite emoji in the comments. If you love your dad, put a number 1 in the comment. If you at some point loved your father, put a 1 in the box, right? We all have a father figure, somebody in our life that showed up for us. And my dad was my hero. My dad was my hero to the point where whatever he said, I believed. It didn't matter what it was. One time I'll never forget, I asked him a question because I was one of those kids that was constantly asking questions. And I know that now because my little Kinley is the same way. And my dad always had an answer for me. He always knew exactly what to say. Well, when I grew up, I realized a lot of what he had told me was just ways to, he was just answering questions to get me to stop asking questions. And I'll never forget, he told me, I don't even remember what it was, but it had to do with a hairbrush. And I remembered it forever. And then when I realized it wasn't true at all, I was like, oh my gosh, my dad is. But anyway, it's his birthday today, October 4th. And he has been gone for 7 years. So put a 2 in the box if you still miss someone, even though they've been gone for a long time. If you still think about them on their birthday, if you still have memories that pop up, because it never gets easier. When you have someone pass away, and for me, it was suicide, right? My dad decided to end his life. And a year before that, my father-in-law was killed by a drunk driver. So there's these 2 parallels, right? One wanted to end his life. Whatever the reason behind it, however you feel about suicide, selfish, selfless, the worst thing on the planet, whatever. We all have belief systems about all of this stuff, but you have someone who is ready to go. They're ready to end their life. They don't want to live anymore. And then you have someone who had their life taken from them, right? And then I've also been around people that they live the most incredible lives and they die in their old age, and it's like the most beautiful thing on the planet. But I look at my life, and on September 2nd, Nick's dad was killed, and on September 2nd, my dad ended his life. And today is my dad's birthday. So I wanted to talk about this because so many times we can literally make the decision that our life is going to stop because of someone else's. We make the decision that because of hard things, we are not going to thrive in our life anymore. And I pose this question. Why do we subconsciously choose to stop living when someone is no longer on the planet? Why does it crush us to the point that it is so heartbreaking? And the answer to that for me is because we don't know how to deal with the emotion. We don't know how to handle the heartache, the hurt, the pain. And it's because we're taught that emotions make you weak. We're taught that crying is a weakness, right? So we try to stuff our emotions. Oh my gosh, Lily, that's nuts. I've never been pronounced dead. No. But I bet that's, when you come back, that's kind of an interesting experience, right? So when we make the decision, hi JC, I love you too. When we make the decision to not feel, we make the decision to not heal. And when we make that decision, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, it is the most detrimental thing to our heart. Like legit, our heart instantly starts to pound itself. Like I'm watching the series Once Upon a Time, and that whole series, they rip people's hearts out and put them back in, right? And they rip people's hearts out. And they can tell the hearts that have darkness in them, or they haven't healed, or they have, this one, his heart was so hurt that he had like this shell around it, right? And it's, that's what we do. When we choose not to feel our emotions and we choose not to heal, whether it's subconsciously or consciously here, I'm talking about, you might not even be aware that you didn't walk through and heal. You might not even be aware that you're holding on to that, but there's other things going on in your life that are showing up for you, to show you that there's work that needs done, that there's things that you need to walk through. And I deal with a lot of people that are afraid to feel the feeling because they don't want to feel the hurt anymore. They don't want to walk through that pain. They don't want to have that feeling of their heart hurting. But here's the thing, on the other side of that healing, on the other side of that feeling, on the other side of crying for 2.5 hours solid to the point where you feel like you cannot cry anymore, there is this magic that happens. It's like a light starts to shine. And that's the light of hope, right? How do you get there, though? I know a lot of people, emotional pain is why I drank, yeah. A lot of people try to numb the pain. They don't know how to feel the pain. So that's where depression and anxiety and nightmares and PTSD and, you guys, I'm not talking at you. I've had all this, right? Like clinically diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder from the military. And not from what people would think either. Put on antidepressants when I didn't think I could handle my life. So sad as a kid. I remember being so sad and thinking I was so ugly and that nobody would love me and nobody liked me. And my mom would just come in and sit with me and just she didn't understand how I could be so sad. I was so young. But now I see, because my daughter's going through the same thing, right? If you can relate to anything that I'm talking about right now, put a 3 in the box. Have you been sad? You guys can be vulnerable on here. If anybody judges you, I promise they won't be on my Facebook anymore, because vulnerability and feeling emotions, it might be the best thing that you've ever said, is that I suffer. Yeah, I'm sad. Yes, I've been through a lot of this stuff. And when I woke up this morning and I realized that my dad, he has taught me so much. He has been the best teacher in my entire life. When he made that decision, I started to learn. And I didn't cry. You guys, I didn't cry for 2 years about that, because I was the strong one. I was the tough one. I was the one that had it all together, right? And when I finally healed that emotion, when I finally got it, that's when I started to do the work. That's when I started to release the trauma and the all of it. And it's not easy. None of this is easy. But this is where writing stuff down, feeling the emotion, being in gratitude, having somebody to talk to, see a counselor, go see somebody. If you go see somebody, I promise you're not weak. But there's always hope, because I've never met anyone that hasn't been through something. I've never met anyone that hasn't been through hell and back, sometimes more than once or twice, right? And I believe that we choose to walk through some of the stuff so that we can see how amazing and incredible we actually are. And I just want you all to know that there are reasons to celebrate. Talk to him. Keep the memories alive. I have conversations with my dad, right? Like, I'll be driving and I'll see a rainbow or I'll see a hawk and I'll be like, Dad, I know that's you. Thank you. Because I'm keeping that memory alive. And that's absolutely true. Yeah, it's so beautiful. So I wanted to say, first of all, happy birthday to my dad. Second of all, I want to say thank you to each and every single person and each and every single experience that we as the human race get to walk through, because it makes us better. It makes us stronger. And then what are you, I just got a really strange message. What are you looking forward to? Where is there a light that is shining for you? What is it that you're learning through this, right? So you've lost someone and the pain is unbearable. Write down the memories. Start writing. Just start writing everything you can remember about him. And I'm so grateful. When my dad went missing, I went and talked to a pastor, and because I was concerned where I was in my spiritual journey at that point. I was concerned because of my religious beliefs that my dad wouldn't make it to heaven, that my dad wouldn't go to where he deserved to be because of a choice that he made, right? Like, I didn't understand that. And thank goodness this man was so beautifully aware of what I needed. I didn't need to know if my dad was going to go to heaven. That's not what I needed. That's what I thought I needed. But he told me, he said, the best thing you can do for yourself and for your father is to write down all the memories, all the stories that you remember as they come up. Write them down. And so I did. I started writing down the memories. I would think of a story and I would write it down. And now it's been 7 years and I'm so glad I have those. Not that I ever go read them, but I know they're there in case I need them, right? So if you're going through something hard, I promise that there's hope. And for anybody that's going through hard times, let's just give them lots of love right now. You guys fill the news feed, fill it with hearts, pound that heart button, whatever you got to do. This is for anybody, and I'm going to set this intention really quick. Anybody who's going through anything difficult where they don't feel like there's a light, they don't feel like there's hope, these hearts are for you. This love is for you, because you're never alone, first of all, and there's always something to look forward to. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I've gotten to experience both sides of it. The overwhelming, unbearable breaking of my heart. Literally, not understanding how I can take another breath losing 2 of my dads, right? But I understand now it's okay. I might not agree with it. I might have issues with it. I might have put a wall up on my heart to protect myself. But now that I've walked through the feelings of guilt, the feelings of resentment, the feelings of anger, frustration, bitterness, all of these incredibly hard, heavy emotions. I get it. I get it a little bit better, and I can relate to people. And that's what life is all about, is just relating. So happy birthday, Dad. Thank you. And I get chills when I say that. Yes, Dina. Yes. So blessed. So blessed that we got them for the time we did. It's incredible when you can see that. When you can understand that I got my dad for the time I had him. And it's not as long as other people, but I'm not going to compare that, right? There's other people who have had their fathers for less time, like my husband. He only got his dad, for a short amount of time. Yeah, so many people ask for signs. Yeah, and they don't see it because they're not looking in the right space. I was talking, my dad's name was Paul. I was just talking to a friend who lost his father. And he said, I just want to sign. 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 And I kept looking, there's signs everywhere. Just in the 2 hours we were talking, there was 2 hawks that flew over, a butterfly flew by. And I was like, wow, the signs are everywhere, dude. It's time to change the lens, right? And a lot of you guys saw the post yesterday, which they're sitting right here, so I'll show you. Because everybody was like, color therapy glasses, oh my gosh. Sometimes we have to change the lens. And I don't know if you guys have ever put on a different pair of glasses, but I'll show you what they look like. It literally changes the way that you see things. So if your entire world, you change the filter, that's a pretty cool analogy, right? That the red ones are for your root chakra. These orange ones. It's so cool, right? This is the yellow. But do you see how it's just a subtle shift, right? It's so subtle. You got your heart chakra, right, which is green. And if you change your lens of how you see things, you start to see things in a different way. That's why I named my company what I did. It's Vision for Your Life. Because so many times we have a vision and we're not seeing clearly. Yeah, chakra necklaces. These are the third eye. Sometimes when people look through these, they actually get a headache because it changes the filter, man. And here we go. This, intuition. And they're so dark on this, but when you look through them, it changes the whole perception. What lens are you looking through? The blue. Yeah, that is your throat chakra. And they just look really cool, right? Pretty amazing. Hi, Mr. Rob. You're probably going, what in the hell is she doing? I know. You'll have to watch it from the beginning. But anyway, I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to come on. There is hope. There is, and so many people. Okay, so blue, it's funny that you guys are all commenting on the blue because the blue is your throat chakra. And so many people have a hard time speaking their truth. And I'm going to tell you guys a story real quick. I wasn't going to do this, but I'll tell you a story. So I decided to work on my inner power yesterday. And so I put the yellow glasses on and I just wore them around for 15 minutes. And I was like, I got to go get my kids, blah, blah, blah. So I go to get my kids and I don't ever speak up, right? I just let things kind of happen. And on Facebook I speak up, but I'm pretty shy, out in the real world. And Cadence didn't see me in the line. So I honked at her And there was a woman that was like in the line and I was next to it. And I didn't understand why she was so angry, but she turned around and glared at me. And the glare that she was giving me was not a kind of like this. It was like a death stare, right? It was like, oh, how dare you honk at me? Like I wasn't doing anything wrong. And I thought about it for a minute and I was like, I could let her go on being super angry at me, or I could say something. And I had my inner power glasses on, right? Like speaking your truth and inner power. And she rolled down her window as I drove by. And I was like, oh my gosh, here's the sign. This is a total sign. And I said, hey, you didn't think I was honking at you, did you? And she goes, well, yeah, I did think you were honking at me. And I was just getting ready to move up. And I was like, well, just so you know, you don't have to take things personally. I was honking at my daughter. And I'm sorry that I made you so angry, and I apologize that you took it that way. But I said, I didn't deserve to be stared at like that. Like you gave me an evil eye. And I don't feel like I deserved that at all. Now, can you imagine? I love you too, Mama. Can you imagine doing that on a regular basis? But I had my inner power glasses on and I didn't even realize it until after I got home. And I was like, oh, I cannot wear those glasses out anymore because, kind of crazy. But I wanted to give you guys some hope and some light on no matter what you're going through. Because we all go through hard stuff. The stank guy, that's exactly what it was. We all go through hard stuff. We all go through, I've actually never met anybody that doesn't have a problem. And if they don't have a problem, and they're in that smooth sailing part of life, I've never met somebody that didn't have a problem right after that. We always have problems. We always have things that are trying to like keep us down. And there is a perspective. There is a new view, right? You can take and look at your life through a different lens. And I wish you guys could see how I can see you right now. Whoa, root chakra, man. The red. Okay, I've blabbed on long enough. I hope I got my message across. I send you so much joy and happiness and love for you, because you deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel beautiful. You deserve to have a joy in your heart. And that's our God-given right, isn't it? Have a beautiful day.